My name is Andres. I am from Colombia. I've been living in Germany for over 8 years now. Initially, I came to Germany to study with zero expectations about staying. But then the more I stayed, the more I was feeling curious about how it would be to work here. And then at some point, I just started looking for intern positions. And 4 days before actually boarding a flight and, and leaving, I landed an offer for an internship, and yeah, I started working. A few years later, I was stable enough. I got a good position and everything, and yeah, but I was building experience. Then like we always want to look for different things or just grow in different directions and everything. So towards the end of 2023, I wanted to just look for different paths. And so I wanted to, let's say, navigate how it would be to apply for software development roles as entry level junior positions, ideally. Um, and so it turned out to be harder than I expected, because of competition, because of lack of experience, and back in the day, I remember I was sending like tons of applications, but I wasn't doing it really like consciously, or like I was that type of person just sending applications everywhere, just like hitting that submit button everywhere. And of course, I was only receiving rejections and accumulating rejections day by day, and not really getting anything out of it, just like frustration, frustration, and frustration. And before Jobsties, that was the way I was doing it, right? When I joined Jobsties, I have to say that personally speaking, what really stood out for me was like to see like um, that I wasn't alone, like to be able to relate to so many people that were in the same situation was supportive enough, for me to keep going, but like in a more conscious way. Like applying now more consciously was definitely a deal breaker for me. Like, okay, there must be something I'm doing wrong. It's just like I've been struggling to see it or to admit it that I'm doing something wrong. So jobs, this was like guidance, an absolute guidance for me. Um, not only by checking my credentials, and when I make credentials, I mean like CVs or like LinkedIn, how you're selling yourself, how you're presenting yourself to companies, what you're able to do for companies and everything. And I'm like, yes, this makes sense, and this is something I never did before. So, but all in all, I would say I don't know how to say this in English, but like maybe it's accompaniment, like guidance, like someone is there with you, like pushing you,
Mm.
carrying you, and yeah, in Spanish it would be like acompañamiento. Yeah,
Yes,
and
I think you mean like having some kind of mentorship on the
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Like someone is making you be accountable for what you're doing, so do it responsibly, not like recklessly.
Mm.
So just like do it responsibly. And like joining the calls also was giving me a little bit of boost, because we got to rehearse like interviews, and listening to other job seekers um, carry out these interviews was also nice, because I speak for myself, but I was related to how they were doing it. I was like, I do this, I do that. Maybe I should change this. Maybe I should approach the interviews differently. Um, and yeah, also like having someone go over your CV and just like pinpoint those little details that we normally just overlook on a day-to-day basis. That was also important. Um, yeah, just like accountability. Accountability was super essential here. It's like, the feeling of not being alone. That was huge, of huge importance for me. Yeah.
And another question for you is what made you in the first place decide to join the academy?
Um, Actually, my friend, Luis. We were just like texting over WhatsApp one day, and then he told me like, "Hey, I joined this community of job seekers. I know you've been like applying to jobs recently, so you should maybe try it out." And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna have a look." And I remember I joined in mid-August or early September, something like that.
Hmm.
And even though in the very beginning I was struggling to, like be consistent, um, I started doing it slowly, and trying to understand how the platform worked and everything. Um, I still remember actually the day I joined for the first time, and we were having a call with someone else. It was on a Saturday, super early. I was like, okay, I'm gonna if I want to do this, I need to do it early as well. So I just wanted to have like more structure in my job search, and that's all in all what Jobstis provided for me. Like what I took from Jobstis was that guidance, accountability, and yeah, just like it helped me just to push forward more responsibly and consciously.
How did you go through when you were waiting? Because you received an offer, I still remember, and you had to, well, the company didn't
Yeah.
really go through. So how did you get through that? Now getting an offer and more interviews.
Yeah, that's a good question. I completely forgot. Yeah, okay. So there was this time that I thought I had an offer like in on the table, and I was excited about it because at the same time I was working for this company. It was a production job, and a warehouse job pretty much, and I was just like tired all the time. And of course you might think that I took this offer of this company just to get out of there quickly, and because that's how it happened, and I did it that way, and it turned out not to be working out for none of the parties. Like the company told me, no, we cannot do it. I was like, okay. It hit me hard. There was like the following week I was like super down, like demotivated, super demotivated, like not wanting to do anything. Like I guess that week I didn't send any application. uh, but we cannot just like uh, be complaining about what happened, or like crying over the spilled milk. That's how I say in Spanish, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like the week later, I just started again, sending and sending and sending. Of course, by that time, I had felt already that something in the way I did things had changed. Like um, because I had already got jobs this mindset. So I started doing it the way I learned, the way everyone um, was adopting, let's say, from everything that from all the materials we got in the academy and everything. And I had to say it hit me pretty bad, but I just kept going. Yeah.
And what would you say to someone that is struggling in terms of rejections? What helped you the most in terms of mindset to get through that and get back into the game, into applying, into interviewing?
Before jobs this, every single rejection was like, okay, let's say that you were putting your faith in an amazing company for an amazing role and everything, and you landed at an interview and everything, and you were like super curious, super excited, and then out of a sudden, like you got a rejection. Rejections are like difficult to accept, but like when I joined Jobsties, there was this phrase that's you guys kept repeating all the time, and it was like rejections only mean redirections. And that's something that completely changed the way I was thinking, because it's true. If you're religious, it definitely makes total sense.
Mhm.
And because when one door closes, let's say other three doors open. So I started seeing it that way, and that was super enough with me. I just kept going. And if this company didn't work out for me, maybe it wasn't meant to be. So let's just not push it. Let's just accept it and move forward. And that's like living by that phrase, by that motto. That's made it easier for me. Yeah.
Would you recommend this to any other job seeker right now that's trying to get into the German market or just trying to get that next?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, because like me, for instance, I was super alone. Like it was just me in front of my computer every single day, just like applying, just looking at LinkedIn the whole day. Sometimes even seeing the same postings for hours. I could remember like the same companies on the same list for the whole day, and that was depressing. And so if you really want like to have guidance, to have like a more structure, someone who's like asking you, how's it going? Could we help you in some way? You're not alone. That's definitely a huge boost. And and maybe you don't even know that you need it, but you should give it a try. It's super, super nice. Super nice to have that kind of support. Yeah.
Nice. And so you got an offer, and now you're like, "Oof." What would you say to someone that is starting?
First of all, every process is different. Like you don't need to be hard on yourself just because someone got an offer and you didn't, because that's not how it works. We're all different kinds of professionals, different individuals. We all have different skill sets, and so comparing is not the way to go, I guess. You need to give yourself some pay. You need to be patient with yourself and also like cut yourself some slack. Your time will come. For me, it's been like what, 2 years almost, that I've been on this process, with different ups and downs. And but for someone else might be like months, like 3 months, 4 months. Um, but you also need to help yourself and dedicate it appropriate time. And if you're willing to go through all of this, you also need to take care of your mental health, and let's say keep a balance, because this became a full-time job for me. And over these 2 years, I was literally just like doing this, and I was neglecting having a life, on the side. So I was mostly doing this and then basically not getting out of my apartment. So don't do that. Try to have a balance and like do your thing, apply consciously, responsibly. Um, Make sure you have like an accountability partner there who's like looking after you and everything, but also have a life. You can also go out there and network face to face. That's also an amazing way of, let's say, building bridges and making connections. And yeah, just have a balance and look out for your mental health. Yeah.
Was it working together for you, like with the whole team until now?
It was easy, um, because I consider that looking at so many different cases and having like so many different people in one place, uh, pursuing one goal, is like it just, you feel identified, you can relate and you can help each other. Um, I wasn't only working with you or with Anna or with Mirona. I was working with everyone. Everyone was like giving me their inputs. Everyone was encouraging enough, and then at any time of the day that you need it, someone is going to be there. Someone is going to look at your posts or materials, and they're going to give you feedback. And it's good to have feedback. And I guess like tweaking this, tweaking that, and the more time you do it, I guess the closer it will get for companies to notice you, or your CV. Um, it's super dynamic. It's easily accessible. There's super, super valuable materials that you can use, and honestly, like super good materials that are like worth paying for sure.